Hi, Rich Carrubba. Well, I'm back here for bowlingball.com, and I wanted to talk to you today about how to get a high bowling score. Boy, there's a lot of search inquiries on the internet about how to get a high bowling score. And what we wanted to do is address a couple of issues for you bowlers, particularly you newcomers to the game, beginning bowlers, or even intermediate players who have been bowling for a long time, but you're serious about raising your average. You want to get better scores. You want to be more productive so you can enjoy yourself more on the lanes. Well, we understand. So there's three things we're recommending. And by the way, there's an article at bowlingball.com. Right on the home page, click on Bowlversity, then click on tips or written articles. You'll find this article stored under Bowlversity as how to get a high bowling score. So you can read it too. But let me give you the bullet points. First, bowling instructions. Secondly, you want to learn how to line up initially on the lanes and then make lane or strike adjustments. And third, improve your spare shooting. And if those three things, you can address those issues and make progress in each one of those areas, you're sure to raise your bowling scores. Now, the coach. I'm just going to lay it out for you. I think everybody should take bowling lessons. I know sometimes they're pricey, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes you can take a series of bowling lessons very inexpensively, or even one lesson from a certified instructor, a USBC certified instructor, or a local bowling professional, possibly your pro shop operator. And every area of the country has coaches nearby. We have a coaching locator service on the website too to help you if you live in a rural area or somewhere where maybe there's not a lot of bowling centers around. Help you find somebody to coach you, okay? We recommend it highly because there's nothing like a trained pair of eyes standing next to you in real time, watching you bowl and being able to make suggestions to improve, important key fundamentals like your setup position, your stance, your steps, your arm swing, your balance, your posture, your release, follow through, and even targeting and alignment, okay? All those things are what coaches are supposed to do. That's what you pay them to do, and you should expect to get that. You should sit down and discuss with your coach first when you make an appointment, and make a decision on what you're going to do, what's going to transpire during your session on the lanes. And I suggest that you get started right away if you want to raise your scores. Now, if you've done that, one of the things that we like to see bowlers do is get lined up properly. And most bowling centers try to force you to line up somewhere around the second arrow. If you're right-handed, second arrow, 15 feet past the foul line in from the edge of the lane, left-hander, the opposite. Usually within an inch or two either way from that second arrow, depending if you throw the ball straight, hook it a lot, whatever. It's the oil pattern, the condition that the oil is laid on the lanes, applied to the lane surface, is always heavier on the front part of the lane, and usually on house conditions heavier in the center part of the front end of the lane and less toward the edges of the lane, which means the ball is going to skid the closer you move to the center of the lane, and the closer you move to the outside edges of the lane, the ball will get more traction, higher surface friction, and it will begin to hook sooner or roll sooner. So we like to see you probably put your sliding foot, the center of your toe, right on that center dot, and slide on that center dot if you can walk straight. You got to make sure you adjust your walk to the foul line to end up on that center dot, and try to aim at the second arrow. If you throw the ball with a slight hook, that's a good initial alignment. If you need to move to the right, if you're a right-handed bowler, to go a little straighter, maybe you don't hook the ball as much, or maybe there's a lot of oil, you can make adjustments. Now there's a parallel adjustment system, which could be a series of adjusting your eyes and your eyes where you're sighting on the lane at the bowling arrows, and your feet on the approach, how many boards you move your feet laterally, either left or right, depending on the lane condition. And the parallel adjustment can be done in a series of 1-in-1 ratios, 2-in-1, which is the most frequent, which we recommend you start using. Move your feet 2 boards and your eyes 1 board, same direction. If you keep doing that, your angle automatically adjusts slightly into oil or away from oil, and a little more direct or a little wider angle from the release to the break point down the lane. It'll do it automatically if you make a series of multiple parallel adjustments, 2-in-1. You can also make 3-in-1, but usually that's for more advanced players that understand you need a bold move and a series of bolder adjustments. Take that up with your coach too. They can help you understand alignment systems to find the pocket initially and to make adjustments as the lanes change, and they do change. When you're in league play and everybody's bowling on the same lanes, the oil moves around, okay? When the ball passes through oil, it opens and then it closes again. Opens and closes like a tire passing through on your automobile through a water puddle. But after a while, the oil doesn't close together. It breaks down, or it creates more surface friction in that area. Your ball's going to read the lane, create more traction, and bite sooner. So you need an adjustment. Okay? Now, let's talk about the final variable, spare shooting. I heard a coach once say, don't forget to make deposits in your spare bank. Now, wait a minute, maybe that was me. It might have been me years ago when I coached in Las Vegas. Well, the bottom line is the better spare shooter you can become, the more you commit to it, learn a system, practice, and make it a personal challenge. I dare you to be as best spare shooter you possibly can become. Because if you improve your spare shooting, how can you help avoid raising your bowling scores? So please do it. Get passionate about it. At least approach the passion that I have. I cannot tell you how important learning to shoot spares are. And I get disappointed when I see the pros miss them on TV, easy one-pin spares. And you know why? A lot of times they'll try to change their speed so much. Or you bowlers will try to throw the ball really hard at a corner pin spare, and you don't practice that enough, so you don't have the control maybe that you should. You could use a plastic ball, a hard ball that doesn't hook much for spares on the corner pins. You could use your strike ball if you follow the oil properly into it. You can devise a system to get pretty doggone clever and crafty at making those spares. We suggest it. So work on those three things. Take lessons. Work on learning how to line up and make strike adjustments, and develop your spare shooting. If you do those three things, you can't help but find higher bowling scores.